Okay. We are live. We are live. Just finishing up this Defender. Hi, guys. Nice. What's up, everyone? Yeah, I got 4164s and sockets. I bought new sockets, and these are 4164s. And I got new battery holder. How's everyone doing this morning? What is today? Friday? Friday morning? Yeah. Hi, David. Yeah, TGIF, guys. I didn't do diddly squat yesterday. I did not feel good yesterday, so I didn't do anything. I did not even come out to the shop. But I feel great today. David is in the future. I bought 30 more 16-pin sockets just to replace the ones that I used. And I bought 30 4164s. Australia, cool, David. You know, Australia makes the news a lot here for not good reasons, man. Locking down everything and stuff like that. Don't know what to think about all that. I got all of the important stuff for Defender schematics, printed them off, and I put little zip ties. I punched holes in them and got little zip ties, so I have Defender. It's my Defender thing. Someday I'll print off the sheets that I didn't print and I'll add them to it, but for now, that's good enough. Hi, Bruce. So yeah, I got the new battery holder, which is awesome. It's a nice little bag. I'll keep that bag. I'm gonna keep that bag. Thank you, Stephen. Stephen says, loving the channel. Mystic Marathon. What is that? I've heard of that. That's a is that Williams? What hardware is Mystic Marathon on? I have heard of that. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I've seen something on that game, Mystic Marathon. First thing I'll do is just go ahead and 4164 Rams. Put these babies in the board. Is Mystic Marathon the same hardware as Joust 2? You know what I should be doing? Is I should be testing all of these RAM in my Inquisitor. Dual wipe, David. Dual wipe all the way. I cannot stand machine pin sockets. This thing right here, this board right here has machine pin. No, it doesn't. My friend Todd, his Defender set has machine pin sockets on this board, and just sitting there fidgeting trying to get these things in the sockets is such a pain in the ass. I can't stand those things. I really dislike those. And I am going to test all of these RAM in my Inquisitor just to make sure I'm not putting bad RAM in the board. Because you never know. Man, these things, geez. Yeah, you have to straighten the pins. It's still there's still too much of a pain in the ass for me. I despise machine pin sockets. And then if you do by chance need to remove them, they're board destroyers if you try to remove machine pin sockets. I've done it too, David. I've done it too. I have had to try to remove machine pin sockets from boards, and it's Trace City pull up. Pseudonym. Yeah, my friend Todd had left his. My friend Todd had left his Defender board set over here for probably a year now, and since I was working on a Defender, I put his board set on the bench, and it turned out to be the problem was a bad trace under a machine pin socket. So I fixed his set. All right. We're going to go through and test all of these RAM. Holy crap. This is going to take a year. The Inquisitor has a I think it has a little microcontroller right here, and then it has a I think it has another microcontroller right here. So I don't know exactly. It's all contained on these chips right here. Do I have a certain manufacturer boards that I dislike working on most? Probably Midway, Galaga, Pac-Man. Not that I dislike the game; it's just the boards are so easy to destroy. As far as difficulty, I think that when I see later Atari stuff, like when I say later, I mean 80, 83, 84, 82, into 82 as well. 82, 83, 84, that kind of stuff. They used uh, they used the sockets that aren't always great. And then you have pole position, which has like 30 custom chips on it. So, it's just, yeah. I would say as far as difficulty, probably pole position. Pole position is probably number one because there's so much going on. There's so many customs, so much of that kind of stuff. This thing right here, Jackie. This is the Inquisitor. I'm testing RAM. And Steven, do you mean the pie position thing that Arcade Jason made? The FPGA thing, I don't think is out yet. I think Adam from One Circuit is still working on it. I tell you honestly, if it were me, and I think you would, this is just me. I think you'd get a better, yes, MAME. It is MAME. I think you would get a better experience with having a computer running MAME. I think it'd be more direct and probably less buggy if you just hooked up a computer running MAME and used an encoder for all the controls. I had two MAME cabinets years ago, and they were awesome. I am testing 4164. I got these, I bought them and I got them in, and now I'm just testing them. Before I put them in that Defender board, I'm just testing them to make sure that I'm not putting bad RAM in the board. I agree that MAME is not the way to go if you're a collector, but I mean, MAME's way better than Arcade 1-Up. You can actually put a main cabinet and stuff. I had mine with running on CRT regular arcade monitors and everything. It was regular arcade controls and everything. It was pretty awesome. You're right, Stephen. Absolutely. I remember when I discovered MAME. It was 1999. 1999 is when I discovered MAME. And I was like, this is incredible. Hello, Eric. Yeah, it's a crapshoot when you buy stuff from China sometimes. Doctor. It really is. One of my buttons is going bad on this thing. To be honest, I don't use the version of MAME that I use is 0.140. It's like 10 years old, but that's what I use. That's what I use for all of my MAME ROM files that I use and everything when testing boards and stuff that I get. Yes, Bruce, that's where that came from. The 153s. Yeah, Bruce said he watched the Defender video I had, and I pointed out not to use LS 153s because I had seen where it made tingles on the screen, and that was Bruce. That was Bruce J's joust board that was happening with. Yeah, Bruce, I can do that at some point. And that's not always the case with every single substitution either, you know. It's just in certain cases. Certain cases you can't use different families of TTL chips. You know the disappointing thing about MAME? One of the disappointing things about MAME is they've never got the speech right in Space Fury. I always liked Space Fury. my friend Todd has a Space Fury, and I know exactly what the sound is supposed to sound like. And MAME is terrible with the speech in that game. You're welcome, Bruce. Yeah, I hope you guys figure that one out. Yeah, Yeti, they are. They are absolute gold. They're expensive. I've got one. I've got one here that came with the Gorf set that I bought, and I actually pulled that out of the Gorf, and I have that. I have that one that I did the video on, the uh, the Repro one. I have that, so that's cool. Yeah, Yeti. Did you see the video that I did on that? I did a video on the Repro. The Repro. He sent me, the guy in Italy. He sent me one to demo it. Yeah, if you go back through my videos, you'll see the SC 01 Repro video. Yeah, I had it in a. I demoed it in my Wizard of War, and I did comparisons between the real chip and the demo chip. It's pretty interesting. Yeah, Doro. I made that set of samples for Boxing Bugs, and I still contend that my Boxing Bugs samples that I made sound better than the Netlist emulation for Boxing Bugs on the modern MAME. I still think that my sample set sounds better. I think it would be cool to make a MAME cabinet for vector games, and or just horizontally mounted games in general. 'Cause I'd love to play Boxing Bugs. Boxing Bugs was so fun. I remember back in the day, about 15, 20 years ago, really now, about 20 years ago, you could buy such arcade perfect controls, repro controls for making your own control panels and stuff for MAME. Is that still a thing? I remember you could get push pull spinners. You could build a Discs of Tron cabinet. You know, if you wanted to build a Discs of Tron control panel to play MAME on, you could do it. Is that still a is that still available? Does anybody need like Gorf stick handle? Is that what this is? Is this Gorf? It doesn't have the trigger. Yes, Doro, it does. All of the sounds are analog sounds. Yeah. Somebody put a little scratch in there. Somebody scratched that. But yeah, that's a Gorf, I guess. Hmm. Wonder if anyone would need that. This is actually original. This is not a repro. I know that for sure. The little piece of plastic. Yeah, these are all good so far. All of these chips are good so far, which is good. I just like to verify them before. Heck, when I get any new chips in like this, I always verify them that they're good. Yeah, yeah, Doro. I believe. I mean, I don't know exactly what these chips are, to be honest. I'm pretty sure this 28 pin guy right here is a microcontroller. I'm sure of that. And this one's covered with a sticker, but I am I'm assuming it's a PIC microcontroller, a 40 pin PIC microcontroller. We're down to the last two. Take it easy, David. Thanks for hanging out. Last one. Boy, these things are a slow test, aren't they? You know, these RAMs right here are a little more involving to test, I'm sure, because they have the row and column select inputs, and so there's probably probably more to it. And they're all good. Okay. Now I can put all these in there. Put all of these in the board. Morning, Charles. Trantor Electronics, is that a Logic IC tester? Is that just like a 74 series Logic IC tester and RAM and all that kind of stuff? David, Doro? 'Cause I'm always in the market for a good IC tester. Hello, Sam. Sam, you only missed the boring stuff. I went through and I tested all of these 4164s in the Inquisitor, and it took about half an hour. So you didn't miss anything. All right, thanks, Doro. I am going to check that out. I'll check out that review as well. Ton Tech. I'm going to write that down. Ton Tech Electronics. Curious Mark with a C. YouTube. All right, I got it. I'm going to check that out for sure. I am definitely always in the market for a good IC tester. Always looking to improve that category. Especially for TTL. The ones I use they're okay, but they're kind of flaky. Good morning, GC Power. Yeah, Sam, the Inquisitor is awesome. I'd spend that money again on that thing. Yeah, Charles, $35. Is that for that? Is that for that kit that we're talking about? $35. That's really nice. If it works good and stuff. Jackie, which flute pod are you trying to build? I'm curious. Because I got a story for you if you're talking about the one from England. Jackie, I'm telling you right now, I bought a 6502 pod from JM, Repro 6502 pod from him a couple years ago. I ended up throwing that in the trash, Jackie. I got so pissed off at it. I threw it in the trash, is how pissed off I was. It didn't work. You can imagine how frustrated I was with that thing after spending almost $300 on it. Following all of the instructions to a T, and the thing didn't work. I got so fed up and frustrated with it, I threw it in the garbage. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but that is the God's honest truth. Okay, we got our 4164 RAM in the board. I'll show you something that I do have. I have one of Marion's Z80 pod kits that I haven't even built. But I did buy a set of, I bought a set of the protection modules from JM because those are nice. Those seem to be good. but the pod itself I could not get working. But I did buy one of these Z80 pod kits from Marion that I haven't even messed with, but I have it. Okie dokie. So we're going to clip the -5, and we're going to clip this one right here. So we just clipped this guy, and I clipped that guy. This is for doing 4164s. And then normally what I will do is I'll go ahead and short this pin right here. This is the 12-volt pin. Normally what I do is I short this to 5 volts. But I think what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to short it over to ground. I'm going to ground that. Because it's an address bit. On the 4164, it's an address line. So you're either holding it high or you're holding it low. It doesn't matter. It's just where you're using the memory. You're either going to use the top of the memory or you're going to use the bottom of the memory. So I am just going to solder blob that right over to ground. I'm going to do it nicely, but I'm going to solder those two pins together. The ground over to that 12 volt. We're going to ground that 12 volt. Mm-hmm. Yes, Eric. Same thing. What you're doing is you're eliminating -5 and 12 volts from this board. And what I did here, the -5 is the on the end here. That's -5. You just cut that and you forget about it. The 12 volt line on this board, you either have to hold it to 5 volts or you hold it to ground. This time I just jumped it over to ground. See, I just kind of soldered it like that, so it's grounded. And that basically just grounds that address pin. It grounds the address pin on here. Pin it's either pin 8 or 9. It's 8 or 9, I don't know. But yeah, so that's it. That's converting that. Now we'll put this in. Yeah, Charles. All good. I don't know, Eric. I don't know if I ever did it in a connector. I don't know. I don't know what you mean. It's definitely Super Nest. It's definitely not. It's not a bad idea, but I'm not putting alkaline batteries in it. And I'm all about. I keep things original. I don't mod anything on boards if I can help it. Yeah, you can get lithium batteries. You can get lithium double A's. And I'm all about originality, when it comes to that kind of stuff. But like the RAM thing, the RAM is a clear upgrade, and it doesn't. You don't. You can't see. You can't tell. I don't hack the board itself. I just cut pins and then I jump it over. That's not cutting any traces or anything. See, this looks absolutely original. I mean, that looks beautiful. That new battery holder on there. That is that is awesome. Yeah, that looks awesome right there. That's factory fresh. The great thing about doing this with this on the connector and jumping over on the back, you don't need no adapter at all. This plugs right into here. You don't have to put an adapter in. It just goes right into your original harness. Hmm. Well, this is interesting. Maybe you cannot ground that pin.
What's up? Um, I think we need to call Blue Cross Blue Shield.
The weird thing is when I fired this up, it did work. I mean, it acted like it worked, but there was no video. So I am going to try and see if it makes a difference. Jumping this over the other way. That did not seem to want to work. With the video anyway. Yeah, now it's working. So don't ground that pin. Do put it over to 5 volts. There's something that was just holding it from not working. Now it's working. When I first did it, when I first had that, I first had it put over to the ground on that 12 volt line, grounded. It didn't work. The video didn't work. But when I put it over to the 5 volts, it did work. So, yeah, don't listen to me on that one. Don't ground that. Yeah. So. All right, guys, I'm going to be right back. I got to go get coffee. And I'm going to get some batteries. Doke. I got my coffee. And I got my batteries. These are carbon zinc batteries. The one thing I know about these batteries is, one thing, they're not going to leak. Number two, they don't last very long. These things die pretty quick. So what I would do is I would put lithium AA's in, is what I would really go with. But I'm going to put these in. Damn. Fire it up. Yeah, no ground on that pin. Yes, Eric. That didn't work. Okay. All right, now that we have power put over to here on this battery, and what I want to do is verify that it's there. But as I turn this off, now when I turn it back on, it should boot. It should not go into the settings screen. It should go right to the Defender screen. And that will mean that it's working. Just like that. That means that it's working. So I will go ahead and turn it off. And I'm going to wait a second and then turn it back on, and it should boot and go to the Defender screen. It should, it should boot right to that. There, turned it on. Just like that. It's working. That's it. Works. And I have reflowed all of these headers, but no, I am not replacing these capacitors. Because they're not filter, they're not power filter really. They're not power supply filters or anything like that. I don't believe you need to replace those. Okay. So now we have our sound hooked up and everything. And there is a complete refurbed working Defender board set. Thanks, Mike. This transformer underneath here, this transformer, that is a Sega transformer, Sega G80. That's Sega G80. That's Williams. That's Nintendo. I have two switchers and AR. So I use that Williams supply right there to power the Williams power supply that I'm going to recap. Thrust, smart bomb, hyperspace, up, down, reverse. There you go. Defender. Purple, you are correct. There is no substitute for Williams sound, man. These games are awesome. And thank you, Jackie. Yeah, this is all your power needs right here on this bench. Now all that's left is I'm waiting on the cap kit for this. And once I get that, I'm going to recap this. I'm going to reflow, replace these headers, and recondition this guy, and then test this all as a set. I'll do the burn test all as a set. So, and this will be a complete Defender electronic set. Josh, yes, I did do the RAM. I did. What is next? Well, let me look. I have no idea what's next. This is next. This is like Christmas. I have no idea what this is. I just basically, whenever I receive packages, I put a date on them, and it's first come, first serve. I go by the next oldest date. Goodness gracious. It's a Star Wars. Yeah, it looks good so far. Haven't gotten to the meat of it yet. Hmm. Goodness gracious. That needs to be replaced. That screw is no good. Yuck. Fuck. These screws that connect these all need to be replaced. They're all stripped out and nasty. I'm replacing all of them. Look at this one. What a debacle. What a joke. Okay. Mm. Original AVG. Okay. Yeah. This board's really nice. This board's super nice. So it's a pretty nice board set, actually. This will clean up this junk up on here. I don't know what that is about. It's not replaced parts. Somebody just soldered it for some reason. And it looks like it's shorted stuff out, maybe. Possibly. Okay. Well, it didn't short anything, but it still needs to be cleaned up. This board is the dirtiest of all of them. It's kind of a dirty board. It's not bad. Serial number is 7666. This serial number is 2515. It's not a matching set. This one is 3710. So it's 3 separate boards. It's not even close to a matching set. So and this thing's repro from Vector Labs, Star Wars. It's kind of cool. It looks good. Looks new. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Yeah. So that's our next job, Star Wars, which is pretty cool. Put Star Wars stuff in here. All right. That is, so that's next on the bench. As for now, we've got this nice Defender set. And I'll wait for the cap kit. We'll cap this guy. And then we'll be able to run the whole thing. This is a complete matching board set. All of the serial tags match on this set. Doro. They're pokies. Pokey chips. It's got 4 pokies. I'm going to turn this off. Then I'm going to turn it back on and just make sure it's booting, to the Defender screen as it should. Yeah, there is a 5220 speech synthesis chip. So one more thing to do on this particular job. The last thing is the power supply, and I'm surprised it's taken this long to get that cap kit because I ordered it from Arcade Parts and Repair, and usually they're quick, but it's been. I did buy that, right? Yeah, I'm sure I did. I don't keep emails from there, but I do have shipping tracking info. Expected today. It's expected between 2 and 4 today, it says. So I should get my cap kit today for this guy. And we'll rebuild that. And then so today this thing will be run testing today as a complete set. Yep. Cool. So we did on this Defender, if I remember correctly, all of the RAM are new. These are all 4164 RAMs, and they just are so cool to the touch. We replaced all of the sockets on the ROM board. I replaced one of the ROMs. The LS395 on this board was bad. The 393 reset counter was bad. Both of the pallet RAMs, the 7489 and the 5101 was bad. Had 2 bad 153s, and it had both of the decoders were bad. Had a little damage, little alkaline damage on the battery holder, so we replaced that. Replaced the power inlet headers. All of the sockets, all of the RAM sockets are new. And you know what? I'm going to do a test. I'm going to do a test for Bruce. Bruce, are you still in here? Bruce J wanted me to put regular LS 153s right here and see the difference that it made on the screen. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to shut it down and remove the 153s. And I'm going to put LS 153s in the board in those 2 spots and see if it makes a difference. Okay. Now we have LS 153s in the board. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. It came up with a RAM failure. That is very weird. Okay. 153. These are LS parts. 153s. It comes up with RAM failure. So let's shut it down. I'm going to put the regular 153s back in. What if we just have a bad RAM now? That'd be weird, wouldn't it? And fire it up. Indicates unit okay. That cleared the CMOS RAM as well, because it went into that screen where the test screen or whatever, settings screen. So yeah, very interesting. If you use regular LS 153s in this board, it will not work. And you see here I have I don't know. Yeah, 153 and 153. LS 153s will not work. Very interesting. All right. Yeah, guys. I guess that's about it for this. There's nothing else to do. We are all squared away. It's working good. No, I do not have a RGB mod on the TV. No. I bought a bunch of regular 74 logic from Jameco Electronics about a year ago or so. I bought a ton of them. In GC Power, I only replace. I try to keep families with what they are. You know, if it's an LS part, I try to replace it with LS. If it's an S part, I try to replace it with S. If it's a CMOS part, like an HCT, I try to replace it with that. You know, I don't like mixing and matching parts like that when they're whatever it's supposed to be. I believe it needs to be that. Whatever it's engineered to be is what I replace it with. So yeah. Hello, Gavin. And Gavin, I believe that CMOS chips are also slower. They proper propagation is slower in those chips. See you, Charles. Yeah, so where in something where timing is critical, I would never use a CMOS chip in place of an LS chip. You know, transistor is way faster. It just operates faster than your standard 74 series CMOS chip. Defender. Take care, Josh. Thanks for hanging out. I'm about to get out of here myself, guys. This thing is this thing is done. today I'm going to cap this thing and refurb this guy today. And then I'll be doing the complete burn test. See you, Gavin. Take care. Yeah, guys, I'm going to wrap it up, all right? Because and get to doing some other stuff really quick while I wait on this. And then thanks for hanging out. And another one saved here. This one had quite a few bad parts on it, but and we got it. We got it as always. Thanks, Jason. Take care, guys. Have a good Friday. If I don't see you, have a good weekend. All right. I'm going to get out, guys. See you later. Take care, Sam. See you, Jackie. See you, Purple.